Welcome to the next Supernatural Season 1 episode review video. Before I get into that, though, pretty important, if you aren't caught up to the point where I am, you're rewatching or watching Supernatural, or you're just not entirely sure, then you definitely need to take the initiative and pay attention to the episode's title, which of course I'll mention, as well as put in the description. If that's the case, you find that you're not caught up, it would be my recommendation that you don't watch this detailed review any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And full disclosure, this is actually my first time watching the show Supernatural. I've heard many good things about it, and thus far I've watched the first 6 episodes, even though this is the 4th episode review. I'll record the next 2 after this, and I don't love it, but I feel like it's intriguing enough. I know that it gets a lot better at certain points. I intend to be with this for the long haul, all 15 seasons and all 327 episodes, and I think also there's a spin-off series as well, so I'm in this for the whole long haul as it stands right now. So with all that said, this will be Supernatural Season 1, Episode 4. The title of this episode is called Phantom Traveler. And this will be my first time watch review reaction recap after just finishing watching the episode. We start with a very nervous man named George going to an airport bathroom to wash his face to calm himself before flying. And then another man enters and tries to reassure him flying is safe. When this man leaves, a strange black entity emerges from the nearby air vent and goes into George through his eyes. George gets on board his flight. The welcoming stewardess notices his eyes are all black, but shrugs it off. After 40 minutes into the flight, George asks the passenger beside him the time. He then comments, "Time really does fly," before saying he is going to stretch his legs. A young man near the exit notices George heading for the emergency release handle and shouts for him to stop when he reaches for the handle. But somehow, George manages to open the door and blows it off, hitting the plane's tail. The plane goes into a dive and we see everyone screaming in fear and panicking. Dean is awakened from his sleep by Sam, and Sam, well, he hasn't slept in a while for now. He says that they do. He says what they do prey on his mind. What they do that it preys on his mind. And Dean says he is never afraid like that. But Sam pulls a huge knife from under Dean's pillow and isn't convinced. Dean's cell phone rings, interrupting their conversation. It is a man Dean and their dad once did a job for in the past. He says he needs their help again. Dean and Sam meet the man from the phone call in some kind of aircraft workshop. His name is Jerry, and apparently he had some kind of ghost problem once before at his home. This time, though, his problem is more work-related. He plays them the voice recorder of the downed airliner, and they all hear a horrid noise. Jerry says he doesn't think that the plane had mechanical failure, which is what the authorities think. Apparently, there were 7 survivors, including the pilot. Sam and Dean ask for access to the logs, flight recordings, etc., as well as the wreckage. Jerry says he can get them everything but access to the plane's remains. Dean goes to a copy shop and fakes 2 Homeland Security IDs. Sam is waiting outside, and in the meantime, he has checked out the noise on the voice recorder. It is clear now that something is saying no survivors. Dean and Sam go to visit the young man who last saw George trying to open the plane's emergency exit. He is one of the 7 survivors and has admitted himself to a psychiatric hospital because he is afraid of what he saw. He tells the brothers he knows it is impossible for George to open the exit as it has 2 tons of pressure on it, and yet he did. He tells them George had strange black eyes, too. Dean and Sam visit George's widow. They find his address and name from the flight manifest. George's wife tells them that he just was an ordinary guy to do going to a dentist convention. This disappoints Sam and Dean, as they had assumed he might be some kind of evil creature masquerading as a man. Sam and Dean decide they need to check the wreckage to get any kind of clues for what or for that they need suitable attire. They go shopping and come out of the store dressed in black suits. Dean says he feels like the Blues Brothers, which I agree. They did kind of look like the Blues Brothers. Sam and Dean gain access with their fake IDs and go check out the plane's remains. They find an odd residue on what's left of this of the emergency exit handle, but then the real Homeland Security agents appear, and the boys have to make a quick exit, taking a sample of the residue with them. Chuck, the downed plane's pilot, is about to take his first aircraft up since the crash. It is only a small prop plane, but he is still very nervous as he waits. We see strange black entity appear and seep into Chuck's eyes. The boys find out the substance from the handle is sulfur and conclude that they are dealing with some kind of demonic possession. Chuck takes the plane up. His nerves are strangely gone. After 40 minutes, he deliberately crashes into a field near a place called Nazareth. Sam and Dean look up demons and possession on their laptop. Sam finds Japanese item stating that disasters are caused by certain demons. Dean says this is something bigger than usual, and he wished their dad was there. His cell phone rings. It is Jerry with more bad news about Chuck's plane going down. The boys have visited the site where Chuck crashed and have found more sulfur residue. They realize the demon is using some kind of biblical reference because it is crashing planes after 40 minutes in flight. It crashed several over the years. 40 minutes apparently signifies death. They also figure it is going after all the survivors from the flight because they shouldn't have lived. Sam rings the rest of the survivors to see if any plane to fly. Apparently only one does. Amanda Walker, the stewardess. Their only problem is they can't contact her and her flight leaves soon. Dean floors the gas and prays. Dean and Sam arrive, and Dean has Amanda paged. He tells her sister has had an accident to try and stop her from flying, but the ruse doesn't work as she just had gotten off the phone with her sister. She goes on board the flight, and we see the black entity lurking. Sam says that they have to get on the plane with Amanda and exorcise the demon or everyone on it will die. Dean suddenly confesses he's very afraid to fly. Sam offers to go do it alone, but Dean doesn't like that idea. Dean has given in and boarded the flight, but he's not a happy guy about it. He is obviously pretty scared. Sam tells him he has to stay calm. They only have 40 minutes to find out who the demon has possessed. Apparently, it is most likely to be someone uneasy or under pressure, stress. They think it might be Amanda, so Dean goes to talk to her. He says God's name in Latin, but it doesn't freak her out, so she's not the one. Dean goes back to Sam, and as the plane encounters turbulence, Dean hits panic mode again. Sam calms him and explains he has to be careful as if he was panicking because he is wide open for demonic possession. The exorcism is in two parts. The first one makes the demon leave the body as it is body that it's possessed, but also makes it more powerful. It can survive without a human host. They must make sure they read out both parts of the ritual to banish it back to hell. Dean doesn't like the sound of this, but uses his homemade Walkman spook detector to check out the passengers. He finds nothing. They now have 15 minutes and they are getting nowhere. Then suddenly the meter picks up on something. The demon is in the co-pilot. Dean and Sam enlist Amanda's help. They tell her the plane will go down if she doesn't lure the co-pilot to them in the back. She admits something that was strange on the original flight and tells them she saw George's black eyes too. Eventually she goes to get the co-pilot, still not really understanding what's going on. He arrives and the brothers try to seduce him. Sam recites the exorcism while Dean grapples with the demon, tossing holy water on him and fighting him down. The demon screams. It knows what happened to Sam's girlfriend Jess, but then is forced from the body it's in, and the black entity vanished into the air duct. Immediately, the plane starts to take a dive, and people begin to scream. The lights flicker, and Sam drops the diary as he's been reciting from it. In the darkness and mayhem, he has to grapple to retrieve the book, or everyone will die. The plane plummets, and Dean is pinned to the wall panel, obviously terrified. Somehow, Sam manages to grab the book at the last minute and finish the exorcism. A huge electrical discharge flares from the plane, and it levels out. The Winchester brothers have saved the plane. And then at the airport lounge, people are being attended to by paramedics and questioned by the authorities, I guess, about what happened on the plane. Amanda mouths to Dean and Sam, "Thank you," as they walk away. Sam talks to his brother and is obviously upset that the demon knew about Jess. Dean says the thing knew his fears and probably lied. As the brothers head for their car, Jerry thanks them for all they've done. Dean asks Jerry how he got his cell phone number, as he hadn't had it long. Jerry tells them that their dad's voicemail points to Dean's number. This is a surprise, as the last time they checked, their father's number wasn't working. Dean rings and hears the voicemail. This means their dad could still be alive somewhere, but why hasn't he contacted them directly? The two drive off in their Impala as the screen fades to black. And that's what ends this episode of Supernatural. So I'm going to score the episode an 8.2 out of 10. Character of the episode, Dean and Sam, obviously they're the character of every episode, I think, thus far, unless they become less significant later on in the show. I'm going to give it to Amanda, the stewardess on the flight. I feel like there's one other character per every episode that's more of a focal point. So I might start giving it to Dean and Sam, especially if they have like really crazy episodes. But Amanda for my take in this episode. Not that she did a lot, but she did enough. So you've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Supernatural and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please make sure that you Hulk smash the like button, share the video with a friend, put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section about what your thoughts are on this episode of Supernatural. I know I'm a little bit rusty with these probably at the moment, but once I get in my groove of watching this show, I feel like the reviews will be a little bit better. Make sure you let me know what your score is of this episode and who would you choose as the character of the episode. If you want to give it to Dean, Sam, Amanda, George, or the Jerry guy, whatever, just make sure you leave it in the comment section. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. You're watching the video anyway. Subscribe to the channel, join the team, show your damn support, be a part of something special, and you never know where you're going to see on JDev TV.